Namaste everyone, Pranam. Take a comfortable position. Start relaxing feet upwards. Take a few deep breaths. This process should be complete within 3 to 5 minutes. Whatever thoughts take your attention, gently shift the mind, focus to continuing to do what you are doing. Remind to yourself your purpose. Shastra makes it clear to us. If we are not able to find one within ourselves, we try to align with that purpose. While nature has given us a lot of provision, to get lost in creation, after which The hard rules begin. Vishnu's Gada and Chakra. But before the Gada comes, there is a lot of scope. Bhagwan has given a long rope to do Brahman in creation, to gain a little joys of life through the senses. These little pleasure seeking activities, which fall in the realm of one's own inclinations without hurting and harming others, these are also sanctioned in Shastra Vidya. A lot of rope is given so that jivas can enjoy their own existence in avidya as well. Those little pleasure seeking, that sensory gratification skill, as long as they don't harm and hurt others, manipulate others. But this cannot be the sole purpose of life. This is allowed in the starting, but as one progresses or gains nishtha in the gyan, sensory pleasures don't really attract. A life falls within the realms of dharma. And whatever there is within that, those pleasures are adequate for a jiva yatra. Woken up to another Suryodaya, birds chirp, everyone starts their own gati, as if woken up from hibernation. This is a point of reflection. In our memory, we had a moment where we knew we were awake yesterday. That yesterday is because there was a pause. That wakefulness seemed interrupted. Got interrupted. That is my experience as well. And then today morning, I wake up again. I find myself awake, carrying forward the same name and form. Woke up where I last remember I was awake on the bed. In a fast pace of sensory world, I do not pause to think, where did this entire world disappear? What is that phenomenon? What is this experience? Between my memory of yesterday, last waking moment, to today morning when I awoke again. What happened in between? What is this called sleep, which I know I had? I slept off. I slept off. Watch the word. Slept off. Nidra. In every language, there is a word for it. Ung, Neend. Shastra says Sushupti. What is this Sushupti? Vedanta has taught us more than enough times through this example, through this experience, rather. It is not an example. But somehow, while there is an intellectual appreciation of it, the close looking, observing, most of us miss out on. My last waking moment to my first waking moment today. This thing that interrupted the waking state has divided yesterday and today. I repeat this, it is important. My memory says there was a moment where I slept, last moment where I was awake. I remember that. I was trying to read a book. I remember up to the line I read. And then I don't know. Like some avarna, as if someone had drugged me. Something happened. As if there was a cloud that took over. Like a gain in some language, they say. It took over. As a result of that, after that, I remember nothing. I don't know what happened. And then I know that I've woken up. And that stage where I do not know what happened, it's a stage of darkness. It feels nothing existed there. And in between, I think I had a dream. I was in totally different existence. Even the same name and form was having an experience of a different world. Some random things that just didn't seem cohesively knit. But all this I only am able to conclude when I have woken up now. It's a memory again. But in that avastha, I don't recollect myself as an observer of it. I slept. Last waking moment, I remember very well the physicality of the world. This physicalness, in a flash, started to dissolve, disintegrate, disappear. I wanted to hold on. I wanted to stay awake. But despite my best efforts, something took over. I do not know what it is. This is all Anuvad that I am doing. Reiterating, elaborating our own experience that we go through. This we have to know by ourselves. We have to observe and come to some conclusions from that observation. Only then Shastra Vidya will make corrections. Without observation, acute observation, an observation that is knowledge from our own experience, verified by the universality of it. I have to conclude myself. So we are only closely looking at what we are going through for now. I slept is my conclusion. When I've opened that sentence, all I know is I do not know. I know I do not know. I know I do not know. I know that I do not know what happened there. I did not want the world to disappear. I wanted to continue the physical experience of the world. I wanted it to last longer. I could manage few minutes extra. But after that, I do not know. What happened? Was there some external force that robbed me of the physical experience? Did someone take out the physical experience out of me? What really happened? I have no idea. I can't think anything more. And I look around me, and the whole world seems to go through that. North Pole, South Pole, Everest, under the ocean, submarines, in space, on a spacecraft. Every prani, not just humans. Cows sleep, birds sleep, our pets sleep, insects sleep. How is it that the whole creation undergoes an experience where the physicality is no longer an experience? And in that experience, there is no time that I understand. There is no continuity that I can feel. It just is some random occurrences. They bring me a whole world of experience, sometimes joy, sometimes sorrows, sometimes fear. I seem to live through a whole realm of some experience, which at that moment I seem to have no control over. The observation of this should be very acute. Our Upanishadic knowledge will remain an intellectual information. For it points us very little to the Anuvad. It does Pratipadan, correction of this Anuvad. But if the Anuvad is not very clear to my own mind, my experience is not digested by me, then the correction I do not know which thought to make. So the whole realm of Shravanam just adds a few more thoughts which remain paroksh for now at least. They are helpful, certainly. Once a Shravanam is done, they bring their gati in time. But for us who have decided that this life's purpose, we align to Shastra purpose. What they have said is a human purpose, which is moksha purusharth. Then my listening cannot be passive. I have to be involved in what I hear. With full Shraddha, I have to accept the words and start my thinking along the line. What happened in my sleep, what I call sleep, was it truly sleep? One thing is certain. The physicality disappeared, disintegrated. We do not know what the right word is. It just was not in my cognition. But because when I wake up again, I find the same body, the same name, the same place, the same people, similar things, where I left them yesterday, I presume that they were there. They must be there. When my physical world disappeared, there must be the physical world still existing. Otherwise, how was it that I wake up at the same place? This is a question, which is Anuvad. This is a jiva's conclusion. It is an anuman. Shastra says to us. ये हमारा कंक्लूजन कि ये क्योंकि हम वहीं पे उठे हैं तो ये जगत वहीं पे था, सिर्फ मैं ही कहीं चली गई, पता नहीं। अगर ये जगत वहीं पे ना होता तो मैं कैसे यहीं पे उठ जाती? And not only that, we also observe that those who have departed from the body, they leave things behind. It's the family or the friends or whoever associates, they take care of those belongings that belong to that departed one. The departed did not take them with him. ये तो हम सबका अनुभव है. So that means the physical world must be having a continuity. If so, what is it that discontinued the physical experience and continues to remain discontinued in a cycle for me, for all the pranis? ये जागृत अवस्था रुक रुक के टूट जाती है, बिखर जाती है, छुप जाती है, अव्यक्त हो जाती है. आप कोई भी नाम दे दीजिए अपने अनुभव और अपनी विचार से। मगर इस जागृत अवस्था जाती कहाँ है मेरे अनुभव में? वाई इज इट नॉट देयर फुल टाइम? थ्रू माई बर्थ टू माई डेथ, why is half my life consumed by something which disappears? When this entirely disappears, ये प्रश्न ऋषियों ने किया, जिज्ञासियों ने किया, मुमुक्षुओं ने किया। नचिकेतस ने यह प्रश्न हम सब के बिहाफ पे यम से पूछा। उस बालक ने और भी गहरा प्रश्न पूछ लिया। Not interested in day-to-day disappearance. उसकी बुद्धि इतनी तीव्र है, उसका ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ अपना अनुभव इतना तीव्र है कि उस बालक ने पूछ लिया कि ये सिर्फ एक दिन दिन की बात नहीं है, ये तो शरीर छोड़ना और लेने की सेम साइकिल है। तो जो शरीर छोड़ के मैं जाती हूँ, वो कौन सा स्थान है, वो कौन सी अवस्था है? क्योंकि वही होगी जो ये रोज होती है। दिस ऑलमोस्ट बिकम्स इंसिडेंटली नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट इन अ बुद्धि लाइक नचिकेतस, who sees the larger picture. उसको इस जन्म से नहीं ज्यादा कोई मतलब, वैराग्य है। ये साइकिल तो हम रोक पाएंगे भी नहीं। हमारा तो बस ही नहीं चलता। वी हैव नो कंट्रोल ओवर इट। समथिंग जस्ट टेक्स अस ओवर। एंड द सेम मस्ट बी हैपनिंग, or does it happen, when finally I see no more Suryodaya in this body, with this body, through this body? ये प्रश्न है। ये प्रश्न अपने ऑब्जर्वेशन में आता है, होता हम सबके मन में है, लेकिन हम दुनिया में व्यस्त हो जाते हैं। अपने अविद्या के काम कर्म साइकिल को हम एनकरेज कर देते हैं, बढ़ावा देते हैं, हम उसी के साथ चलते हैं। अविद्या काम कर्म। But in these sessions, we are taking a pause from all of that. अपने जीवन के कुछ क्षण हम निकाल के आत्मविचार की तरफ जा रहे हैं। और आत्मविचार शास्त्रों ने बहुत करुणा से, आचार्यों ने बहुत, we cannot imagine the effort that has gone through in parampara. to keep this विचार की श्रृंखला alive, कि ये कड़ी टूटे ना। In Bhagwan's order, many have put their ahuti in it to convey to others. But before we are able to convey to anyone, this should be our mananam. We have to establish in it. क्या मैंने अपने सुषुप्ति को ध्यान से देखा? अगर मैं ध्यान से ना देखूं, तो मुझे नहीं कुछ उपनिषद का ज्ञान पकेगा अभी के लिए तो, या तब तक नहीं पकेगा जब तक मैं ध्यान से ना देखूं. I may listen to the entire Mandukya and all the vrittis, tikas. I may do a short capsule course through some camp or the other. I may do a long-term study. It is helpful, no doubt. It is helpful because it's Shravanam. For a month and a madhyam, as we are, that's our starting point. But this information will crystallize itself only when I have observation, whether I have done it before Shravanam or I do it after Shravanam. Those who have done it before become Uttam Adhikaris. Those who do after are Mand and Madhyam. मांडुक्य सुनने के पहले अगर मैंने विचार कर लिया, मैंने अपनी इस अवस्था को ध्यान से देखा, जवाब तो मुझे मिलेगा नहीं, क्योंकि जवाब शास्त्र में है. वो तो मुझे श्रवण करना ही पड़ेगा. But if I have observed like Nachiketas observed, then the answer will give me a phal. Take a moment. Before we get involved in the day, we'll try and remember that the waking state is only 1/3 of my experience. For that, what I do not know in between, probably the answer lies there. Was I even there? The answer is obviously in this. Invoke your own Ishvara. Offer this mananam or even are trying to do it. This Purusharth of doing an Indriya Nigraha, Shamadama, and engaging our thoughts in the direction of Shastra Vidya, we offer this to Ishvara. Being still, observing what goes on. This alone is our pranam to this Vyavastha that Ishwar has given us. I will chant Om once to conclude. Om. When you want to.